is going to be a get ready with me for a concert. I'm going to see Panic at the Disco tonight at Madison Square Garden. So I figured I would film my look for you guys because I am super pumped to go. I have not seen Panic at the Disco, or I have not been to a concert since pre-COVID. So it's been like a couple years. Like, I think the last concert I went to was like in 2019. So I am super pumped. I love Panic at the Disco. I've loved them for a really long time, and they did just recently come out with a new album like a couple of months ago, I think like in July. So they're on tour for their new album, and it's been like a few years since they released a new album. I think Pray for the Wicked was like in 2018, I think. So it's been like 3 years. So I'm super excited, or like 4 years. What is my math? So I just threw on the plaid that I'm going to be wearing with a jumpsuit that I'm wearing. You guys will see it at the end of this video. It's just a little bit annoying to wear while I'm filming because, like, I'm literally just wearing sweatpants right now. And I want to be comfy until I have to go. And I am snacking on some chips. So, for my eye look today, I wanted to jump into the Beetlejuice Waiting Room palette by Melt Cosmetics. So we're just going to start doing my eyes. I have not used this palette in like, I don't know, like literally almost a year, I think. The last time I actually used this was in my vampire look for Halloween that I did with a few of my girls on YouTube. We did a vampire collab. Sorry, I don't know why that is not working when I put it there. And I'm just snacking on some chips because I am going to eat dinner, but I just needed a little something to eat before that because I was getting a little bit hungry. So let's start doing my makeup. So I already primed my eyes and everything with my Anastasia eye primer, and I just set it with the Urban Decay powder, the Stay Naked one. So I'm going to jump into the reds today. So the first one I'm going to use is the shade Obituary, and it's like a really pretty like burgundy red. So we're going to jump into that one first. So since it's fall, I wanted to start whipping out some of my older like fall palettes that I haven't used in a while, and I just thought that this palette would be a really good one to use for the concert. I also am kind of curious as to how these red mattes perform over the ones that are in like the Muerte palette. So I wanted to use them today. I don't know why I cannot fit anything on my desk right now. It's like kind of driving me crazy. Okay, there we go. So when I put this on, it definitely needs some building. I kind of noticed that the red in the, really got to pack it on. I kind of noticed that the red in the, Muerte palette kind of does the same thing, and I don't know about starting out with this as my crease shade because it looks hella dry and it looks like really patchy. I already don't like it. Let's see how the other eye looks. Hold the phone. I don't know why they're just kind of difficult to blend out. I mean, I usually did not have this problem with this palette. I think I really just gotta pack on the shade when I'm putting it on because their eyeshadows are pigmented. But okay, so I find if I pack on the shade first, it blends out easier, which is weird because you would think if it's more highly pigmented, it would be a little bit more difficult to blend out if you make it more pigmented. But I find if you pack on the color, it saturates the color more, so it looks better. Okay, let's see if that helps the other side, because, yeah, that does help. Okay, so that is better. I don't know why it looks like a freaking, like, blood. That is the wrong shade, Caitlin. I don't know why it looks like a blood mark, though, when I try to blend it out on this side. Like, that is taking a lot more effort to blend it out than it should. And it's looking like kind of, but I kind of like how it looks. It looks like kind of edgy. Is that weird? But it just looks smoother on this side than it does on the other side. All right, let's see if we can. I don't really want to take it off because I don't want to start over again. So for the defining shade, I'm going to take the red next to that, which is called No Exit, and it's kind of like a deeper red. And I'm going to take that. That definitely makes it look better. So we're just going to take that and define it. These two colors are very similar to the two reds that are in the Muerte palette, but I kind of have a similar issue with those, and they just are harder to blend than some of the other shades in that palette. I never really had that problem with this one before, but I don't know why I'm having these issues now. It's always when you have somewhere to be is when your makeup is like, no, not today. And that's what bothers me. I don't know what it is. Is it like the stress of having to be somewhere? Or is it like, oh, I don't need to test out what my eyeshadow needs to look like because I know it's going to look good. And then when it comes to, I don't even have a hair tie right now, so that's all right. I don't need it until I do my eyeshadow anyway. But when it comes to like doing your makeup for the actual event, it's like, no, it's not going to look good. And I really just don't know why. Okay, and then for the outer corners, I'm going to go into the black. And I actually really like Melts Blacks, so this one's actually a really good one. And honestly, I've been enjoying black eyeshadow lately. Maybe I should have put some Vaseline on my eyes last night because my eyes were pretty dry the past couple of days. And when I used the Anastasia primer, because yes, it is my go-to primer to make my eyeshadows more pigmented, or if I have something to do or somewhere to go like this, it's always the primer I use. So I'm just hoping everything will turn out okay, but this side definitely looks smoother than this side, so already not a fan of that. But I really don't feel like going into something else, and I don't feel like doing it again because I'm already like, I have to make the train by 5:14. Actually, I think it's like 5:16, but I just want to leave a few minutes before 5. But if I leave at 5, it's not the end of the universe because the train's like at 5:15. So, and usually they're always late, but of course the one time you're late is when the train's on time. So you always try and be like a few minutes early at least so you can buy your ticket and everything. Okay, I'm just going to put on some glitter glue and then we'll do the lid. Okay, and then for the lid, I was going to use Lydia, but I'm kind of leaning towards, I think we're just going to stick with Lydia because there is some like vibrant red in the plaid that I'm wearing. So yeah, and I think this was the shimmer that I used the last time that I actually used this. But again, I didn't wear that look out. I just wore it for video. Oh, whoever says Melt shimmers aren't good, they're good. They like have this, they're not like super metallic, but they're also like not really transfer prone, and they just lay on the lid so nicely that like, and look how pigmented that is. Like, and red's a hard color to do. Besides purple, like red is like a pretty hard color to formulate as well, and their pigmentation is like insane. So okay, once I have this on, I do like how it looks more. So that actually looks really, really good. I like that. Okay. I'm happy with that choice. But yeah, I just wanted to whip out some of my melt palettes recently. I have been using the Harry Potter palette like pretty much all week. And I've been loving it. I was tempted to use it for tonight too, but I am actually going to use it on the lower lash line for this look. Because I do want to incorporate some green because I am wearing a green jumpsuit. And then this plaid actually does have a floral pattern with green stems on the side. So I do want to incorporate green too. I don't know if that's a little bit Christmassy, but if I just put green on the lower lash line, it's not like that bad, you know? So I just want to really coat my lid with this color. And then if I have any issues, I can just go back in with the black. That's why I love black, because it really does cover up, you know, anything that's a little bit unblended on your eye. I really have been becoming more of a fan of black eyeshadows, so. And I especially love blacks, like doing like grungy looks like this or like looks for the fall. It's just such a good shade to use. Okay, so that's pretty much coated to where I want it. And then I just want a little bit more here. Red eyeshadow can stain your eyes, just FYI. And it can irritate your eyes just a tiny bit. Like, I feel it like a tiny bit, but honestly, it's not like stinging or anything. But since red eyeshadow is such a concentrated pigment, it can stain your eyes. Okay, and then for the brow bone, I'm going to go into the shade Sandworm, which is the matte white in this palette. And that's going to like help clean up stuff too. And I'm going to do the same over here. And I really like how this looks so far. I mean, I've done this look before, but I haven't done it in a long time. Okay, and then I'm just going to clean up the eyeshadow off camera, and then we'll start doing the face. Okay, so now I'm going to do my base. I forgot to clean up my eyeshadow in the bathroom, like underneath my eyes, but I just used some water right now. Okay, that's better. So I'm going to go into the face. I do prefer how these mattes blend out over the ones in the Muerte palette. I mean, also this palette came out, I think, a year after that one. I think the Melt Muerte was like their Halloween palette. Halloween collection, I mean, for 2019, and this one was 2020. And I do think the reds perform better in this one. I do need to swatch them to see if they're like dupes for each other, because they're very similar reds to the ones that are in the Muerte palette. I wouldn't be surprised if like they're the same. Okay, so now I'm going to do the face. I'm just going to spray with my 4th Ray Beauty Spray. And then I shockingly really enjoy this primer now, the e.l.f. Hydro Grip Primer. It really does prolong the wear of my makeup. Like, if I need it to last, this is the primer I'm going for now. And it actually, like, gives me a little bit more coverage when I use it too now. I'm not sure if I've used it. I don't know why I just put it on the back of my hand. I usually just put it on my fingers. I have a little bit more left. But like, it really grips onto the foundation. Like, even more, I mean, I still love the Milk one. The Milk one is slightly less tacky than the e.l.f. one. The e.l.f. one is definitely more tacky, but it makes it grip onto the foundation. I mean, it makes the foundation grip onto the primer really well. And I also think it adds more coverage as well for me. So for the foundation, I'm going to use my Lancome, my Holy Grail. I love this foundation. Are you kidding me? I just squirted foundation onto my shirt. Are you fucking kidding me right now? It's actually a pretty bad stain. Okay, definitely need some water. Actually, you know what? It's not terrible. I can just get it out with water, I think. Fuck, I'm so mad right now. I can't believe I just did that. I was trying to avoid where I put the primer accidentally. Okay, yeah, it mostly came out with water. But I was trying to avoid where I accidentally put the primer on my hand. Okay, it's actually not even that bad, because at least this was underneath. And this, is not that bad. Okay. Alright, we fixed it. We fixed it, but that was just really dumb. I really thought that was going to be worse than it was, but it's not terrible. Not anything a little bit of water can't help, so, let me not just get water in my... Oh my goodness, I'm a mess. Because since I accidentally put the primer on the back of my hand, I didn't want to mix the foundation with the primer again, because I already put it on, and I didn't want to make it more tacky. So I was trying to avoid putting it where the primer was, squirting it on like that part of my hand, and I accidentally like squirted it past my hand. So yeah, you learn from your mistakes, right? Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and start blending that out. This is my favorite foundation for like anything that I have to go to that's something that I have to wear my foundation for a little while for. I mean, I'm only gonna have my makeup on, I mean, starting now is like a little bit before 4, and I'm probably going to take it off around midnight. So it's still 8 hours, which is a decent amount of time. So I love this foundation. It claims it's 24 hours, but this is usually always my go-to for the city. I've worn this foundation like countless times to the city. So yeah, they're performing at Madison Square Garden. Super pumped. I have not seen Panic at the Disco since before my best friend passed away. It's kind of super special to me because Panic at the Disco was her favorite band. I hope I'm not covering the speaker again, because I did that with my Harry Potter palette in my first impressions video. Like, I put the palette on my laptop and I kept on covering the speaker. I mean, actually, I wasn't covering the speaker, but when I put it on top of the keyboard, it kind of just muffles the sound from the speakers. So, yeah, that was the issue. If only my hair could get out of my way. Like, it drives me crazy. But I did take a shower and washed my hair and blow dry it, so... I was gonna do that last night, but I was on the phone with one of my friends until like 1:30. He's a huge like Panic fan too, so we were talking about the concert and everything. I actually don't think I need any more coverage. I think it looks absolutely perfect. That's why I love this foundation. It's just the perfect amount of coverage. And again, the e.l.f. primer, like, I really didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I do, but it really does help the wear of your makeup, so... And it's so affordable, so it's worth it. I don't know if I'm gonna eat before. I mean, I need to eat something before the concert because I know I'm gonna be starving, but I don't know if I want to eat what I was going to. So I'm just gonna use the Cover FX Power Play Concealer, one of my favorite concealers to use when I need something full coverage. I kind of put a little bit too much on, but that's okay. I also like that this foundation doesn't like make me completely pale. Like, sometimes when I do like red eyes, I really like a pale foundation, but not something that makes me look like a ghost. And I really like this foundation because it's a really good match for me. Like, it matches my skin really well, so. And it's such an underrated foundation. I'm kind of like super interested to try their new one, the new Taint Idol foundation. I forget what that one's called, But there's like a couple foundations that I would like to try, but the one I really want to try is the House Labs one, so I'm probably just gonna hold out for that one. So yeah, the concert's at 7. It's 3:57 right now, so I'm taking a 5:15 train. So I still have like a decent amount of time. For me, I'm always like rushing, but as long as I'm done with my makeup soon, I was just gonna change and then eat something really quick. Again, I might not eat what I was intending to though, or I was just thinking about getting McDonald's before the concert. I was just gonna get it at Penn. But my friend told me that he went to the city like 2 months ago. I also was in the city in July. That was the only time I went to go see Thor. And I remember that there were some things that were done, but he said, because they're, they've been redoing, if you're a New Yorker and you've been to the city over the past like 2 years, honestly, they have been redoing Penn Station like completely. Because honestly, it was a shithole for a long time. Like, honestly, it's like probably the worst station in the city because Grand Central is so beautiful. It kind of like Grand Central puts like Penn Station to shame. So they've been redoing it over the past like year or two. I think since 2020, since COVID started. Also, I think it was easier for them to do it then because, of course, not many people were taking the train during that time because of lockdown. So it was easier for them to start renovating then. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. I love this concealer too. It's such a good concealer for like long wear. That's why I knew I wanted to use it. I kind of got some concealer in my eye though because I blended it like all the way up to my under eyes accidentally, which is usually what I do, but I like put a little bit of the unblended concealer on like up to here. So I think we should be okay though. Okay, and then for powder, I don't think there's any other powder I want to use. I'm just going to use my Pat McGrath. I'm not like a huge, maybe I should bake though. Maybe I'm going to bake a little bit, actually, just so I want to see if that helps right now. Or maybe I'll just use my sponge to set it, because a lot of people do this. I already feel like it's creasing. It's all right. I wanted to have a little bit more of a blurred effect underneath my eyes, but I think that actually looks really good, so. And I'm going to powder around this area, because honestly, the highlighter I'm going to use looks amazing with everything. I can't believe it's already 4 o'clock. Now I feel like I'm rushing. But I should be done in the next, like, 20 minutes, so. I might just go eat now and then finish my makeup after I eat because I'm getting hungry. Okay, and then to set my face, if I could speak English. I'm going to go back in with the Urban Decay powder. I'm probably going to end up leaving at 5, which is still enough time, to be honest. And I love this powder. Look how full coverage that is. Like, I just want to put a little bit more where I usually, like, need a little bit more where I bronze. So that seems to be a pretty good combo. And then I'm going to spray with my favorite setting spray, which is the Milk Hydro Grip spray. I love this spray because it's so freaking hydrating. It really helps like full coverage products not feel like too heavy on the skin. Again, it's like having a drink of water for my face. It's so fucking amazing. Okay. So now I want to work on a little bit of the lower lash line. So like I said, I'm going to go into the Harry Potter palette because they don't have a green in the waiting room palette. So I wanted to use the green that's in this one because I want a matte green on the lower lash line. So I'm going to take the shade Slytherin. I've been loving this shade. I've been using it way more than I thought I would. I've used it in a couple of looks already with this palette. And then for the inner corners, I want to use Gillyweed. This is such a gorgeous, like, light shimmery green. So I think it's going to be perfect. So first I'm going to go in with, and this is like the only way I really mix palettes. Like, I don't really mix palettes too often for like my top lash line. And honestly, I don't really mix palettes like this too often either. Where's my other brush? Oh, there it is. So I'm going to go into Gillyweed first. It's such a pretty green. I did use this all over my lid a couple of days ago and I loved it. It's kind of really similar to the shade that they just came out with for the Hocus Pocus collection, for the highlighter that's in that collection. It's like almost the same shade because it's like a green, light green minty color, and I love it. So I'm going to use that. And I think I'm going to do black liner because I do want it to last. And I don't get to wear black liner as often as I used to, because I am so obsessed with brown liner that I usually wear brown liner 90% of the time now. And I only wear black liner when I do looks like this. But I wear black liner more so in like the fall and winter time. I don't really wear black liner in the spring and summer really anymore. Shocking, I know. Okay, so I'm just going to take that. So I think the last time I actually saw Panic at the Disco was like in 2018. And I think where we saw them was in my town. My town has this theater called the Paramount. And we actually get some really famous acts to be there. Jeff Beck and Johnny Depp are going to be there in 2 weeks. And I didn't get tickets for that, but I'm going to try and meet Johnny Depp before or after the show. I freaking love him so much. And it's been my dream to meet him since I was like 16, so. Okay, so now I'm going to take the green Slytherin shade and I'm going to smudge that on the lower lash line. This one does take a little bit more building, but I like it because it's more of like a deeper green, so it doesn't look like I'm a Christmas tree with the red and green. I like that it's kind of more of a forest green. It's almost like a greenish black, so I like that more. So then again, I don't look like Christmas. It's not Christmas, it's just fall just started, people. Let's not rush the seasons. I really hate when, I mean, all companies do that. I cannot believe all the Christmas collections are coming out already. It's like kind of ridiculous to me. I mean, I wish that more mainstream brands did Halloween collections, but at least the indie brands serve with the Halloween collections, so. And ColourPop just came out with the Hocus Pocus 2 collection, and I did pick up the palette. I said that I wasn't going to, but then I ended up picking it up because I just thought it was so pretty. And I knew if I didn't get it, I would be kicking myself. So I was like, fine, I'll get it. So, yeah. All right, so I'm just gonna, it just takes a little while to blend this shade out. Sorry if I'm sitting here for a century. But I don't think this video is going to be too long anyway. Okay, so just want to get it a little bit more. I really don't care too much because it gets covered up with mascara anyway. So that's all I'm going to do for the shades in this palette. Those are the only 2 shades I wanted to use. And now I'm going to go into my eyeliner, which I think is actually right there. So I don't even have to go digging for it. That's definitely interesting because usually I have to go digging for it. Did I put on deodorant today is the question, though? I don't know if I remember. I did shower, though, so I'll just put it on after. Sorry, TMI. So for my black liner, I'm going to go in with my favorite liners ever, and that's the Makeup by Mario liners. These are absolutely amazing. If I could get this to actually get on my waterline. There we go. They're just the creamiest, most pigmented eyeliners that you'll ever use. I kind of want every single shade, TBH. And I want to get rid of all of my other liners and just use these from now on. It's so funny because I really don't, I mean, I actually do have 2 cheek products from Makeup by Mario, and I actually love both of those too. I'm not like a huge, oh my god, I need every single product he releases fanatic. But he makes some good stuff, so these liners are amazing though. I don't know why it's so hard for me to get this on though, because the pencil's a little short and I'm too lazy to sharpen it, so. Okay, yeah, I think that looks great, so I'm not gonna mess with it anymore. And even if it skips, it's still so easy to get it back on your waterline because it's such a creamy eyeliner, but it's also like so easy to use. Okay, so I'm just gonna clean up the eyeshadow a little bit off camera, and then I'm just gonna prime my lashes. Okay, so now I'm gonna do my lashes, and I'm gonna take the Urban Decay Lash Freak. I actually really liked this yesterday, and again, I've been kind of wanting like something that gives me a little bit more volume, and I don't really have any mascaras that really give me that length that I mean, I do have lengthening mascaras, but nothing like too volumizing right now, so that's why I want to go in with this one. I should be making perfect timing to eat when I wanted to, so. And then I'm just going to have to put my, what I'm wearing on and stuff. Excuse me. And I'm not a lashes person, so don't ask. I mean, that probably would have been really cute for the concert, but that would bother me like all night probably, so I am not here for it. Okay, let me not blind myself constantly, because that's what I keep on doing right now. It's driving me nuts. Okay, and then I'm just going to do my bottom lashes really quick. And then for bronzer, I want to go into the Anastasia bronzer. This is like one of my favorites if I want like a more pigmented one, so that's what we're going to use. And I actually really like how the eyeshadow turned out. It's pretty much how I wanted it to look, so that's good. That's nice when that happens, right? My light is still like blinding me, so I had to just tilt it downwards a little bit more. But this is a pretty pigmented bronzer. Oh my god, my hair drives me crazy sometimes. So you don't really need too much of it. And it blends out so easily. But this is like a pretty old bronzer, but I love it. This is back when everybody was like obsessed with Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I don't think I've picked up something from Anastasia since the mascara, and I loved the mascara, but the last product I actually really loved from Anastasia is the foundation. The last thing I picked up from them, I think, was the concealer, which took so long for them to come out with the concealer to match that foundation. I don't know why they just didn't come out at the same time, so I think it looks pretty good though, yeah. And then for the blush, I am going to go in with a red blush. Why not? So I'm going to use my beloved Jaclyn Hill Rouge Romance palette. This is the best product I ever got from her. I do really love her highlighters too. They're beautiful, but she knows how to do cheek products. But I absolutely love this palette, and I'm going to go in with the deepest shade, which is called Ever After. I'm going to be very light-handed because these are very pigmented, so, but they last so well, and I think that the color will not go anywhere, and that's why I want to use it. So I literally just dipped it, like, not even more than barely coating the brush, and I'm just going to build up the color. I need a little bit more, and I'm just like kind of pushing it onto a tissue so the pigment is not like crazy. I think I want a tiny bit more. Yeah, that's where I want it. I love that. I love Jaclyn Hill's blushes. They're just really good. I use this blush palette so much. I think it's probably my favorite blush palette I own. I mean, hello, I use it all the time. But I really just, it's one of my staples in the summertime. And if I want a blush that looks good, I just grab this because I love the range of colors in it. And I definitely love this one more than the pink one. If I don't really wear pink blushes often, but I love this blush. It's so good and it builds up beautifully, and I think that's all I'm going to do for that. I think that's exactly what, at least the blush performed exactly the way I wanted it to, but that's the beauty of this palette, is that they're awesome blushes. Okay, and then for a highlight, I want to go into Give Me Glow's White Noise, and this is a gorgeous highlighter, and like I said, regardless if I powder or not, these are blinding, and they last a really long time, so. Woo! I'm going to do a little bit up here, but honestly, I only dipped into the pan, like, not even twice. Like, look at that. Oh, there we go. See how it blends out so easily, and it's freaking blinding. So you really don't need a lot. A little bit goes a very long way. That is like insane how pigmented that is on my nose. Oh my god. I look like the Tin Man. Okay. That looks gorgeous. I was thinking about using Halo, but I haven't used this highlighter in a little while, like maybe a month or two. Because I really have just been trying to rotate my highlighting collection. And that looks really pretty. Okay, so I'm just going to set my face, and then I'm going to go eat, and then I'll come back and finish the look. So I'm just going to set my face really quick. This is pretty much exactly when I want it to be done, so that's good. So I'll be back and do the lips with you guys. Okay, so I'm currently lining my lips. I don't know why I can't see anything still. I'm using Control by ColourPop. my god, really? I can't do this on camera. Sorry, the lip liner was bugging me, so I just did it off camera. And then for the brown lippy that I'm gonna do, because I decided to go in with a brown. I was going to go in with Brooklyn, but I think I'm just gonna use Salem by Lime Crime. Yeah, that's perfection. It's so freaking opaque, too. Lime Crime came out with the first liquid lipsticks, and they're still the best. In my opinion, anyway. Oh, I love it. Okay, I'm going to finish it off camera. Okay, I can't really mess with it anymore, and I think it looks really good. So I really love how the makeup turned out. So I know we started off a little bit shaky, but I really like how the look turned out. So here are the eyes, the cheeks, and the lips. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at SBW819 and check out my Poshmark at the same handle. I gotta get going, so I love you guys, and thank you so much for watching. And yeah, I will update you guys later on how the concert was. I might just come back and check in. The only thing about this eyeshadow, like the matte, sometimes they crease a little bit, like in between, like where my lid and my like defining area is, but I think it looks okay, so I'm not gonna mess with it anymore. So yeah, bye.